Ahem. Hi guys, Captain here. We're gonna talk about Castlevania episode 5. Last spell. Last spell. And my thoughts, and we begin with the episodes, pretty much. Yes. Isaac releases Godbrand's ashes after he killed him in the last episode, which was pretty brutal. He literally whipped him to death with his own usual torture whip for some weird reason. Anyway, he basically releases the ashes. It was a nice scene, though, to be fair. And then we hear Camilla talking to her order, or sorry, my throat for a second. Perfect. We hear to Camilla talking to her soldiers about planning attacking Breshif, attacking the place. Breshif, Breshif. Did I say that correctly? Brayla, Brayla, not Breshif. Brayla, attacking Brayla with her armed, very nice and stylish soldiers that look like a mix between Lord of the Rings archers from the elves, Los Alfos, and Gondor knights. They look like Gondor knights, but evil vampires. So pretty nice design. I will give the design on this one 10 out of 10, no questions asked. Anyway, so she talks with her subordinates or her soldiers and says, "I will prepare for it. Wait for my orders." Rayla. Yes. Hector speaks with Isaac outside, talks about nature, but also speaks with Isaac about the plan with Brayla and trying to convince him. And he convinces him after a time. And I like Isaac. Both of them are pretty nice characters, but I like more. Um, what is it? Sorry, my throat. Perfect. I like more Hector. I like Hector more. He's more my type of guy. He's a nice guy. He's a bit naive, but nice. He's a nice person. He has his heart at the right place, at least. I will say that. When it talks about nature, like he talked about, like everyone hunts creatures, the vampires hunt humans, and human hunts vampires, and so on and so on, pretty much. Anyway, so basically they convince each other, and they convince Hector, or Hector convinces Isaac to join his plan, but Isaac is definitely playing a double spy game here, pretty much. I think. Yes. I think Hector is playing a double spy game. Sorry if I'm doing a couple of pauses, but I'm a bit tired and sick as well, so yeah. As you can hear, I'm a bit sick. Anyway, so basically Carmilla is like praising him and like, yay, perfect, perfect. And we see the little doggy as well, a little French poodle, undead, but cute. And I really like Isaac. I like animals, so I like him. But it's unfortunate that he's gonna get screwed over with soon, soon and later. Anyway, I think this show is basically like a Game of Thrones, but for the Castlevania universe, so to speak. Plot and deceit and betrayal and backstabbing. Anyway, so basically she's glad that this happens, that she's happy that everything is going to plan, and they're talking with Dracula later on. Isaac is suggesting the plan to Dracula, and Dracula is like, yeah, alright, alright. I want to see results, not details. Do it now. And he looks at a flashback, or he remembers, he thinks, oh, that time when I attacked the village. That time when I remember a town defying me, mistreating, or not mistreating, or. Huh? He enjoys the flashback when he remembers he caused a lot of chaos to a town that I don't remember exactly the name of right now. ¿Qué nombre tenía esa ciudad? It was Kronstadt city, Kronstadt town. And he remembers, oh, when they were defiant humans, when I was evil. He remembers the good days as a bad guy. And he enjoyed splitting out blood from their throats and bathing in their blood. Also, he was at least merciful in this part, in the part of the episode. He let the women and children leave, so that was good. He's not an asshole completely. He's not a complete asshole. To be fair, I enjoyed Dracula. He's a very enjoyable performance, and I feel sympathy for him. You know? Like, okay, he at least, okay, he did this. He basically killed all of the guys in the town, all of the people there, but he killed them because they were greedy. They wanted to have their possessions back. You know, it's not a bad idea if you want to get your possessions back. You know, your um, arvegods or your possessions. You know, but the problem is, if you hadn't think about that, you could have saved your asses. Pretty much, isn't it? Hmm? Sorry. So I like that Dracula is at least merciful with the children and women. At least, you know, you cannot be merciful to everything, and he eliminates them pretty badass. Though he shows an example to the women and children of what would happen if you defy Dracula, if you defy me. And it's a pretty brutal one. They spike them and they have their guts around spikes. Pretty brutal. Not recommended for children to watch. Seriously, not recommended. Anyway, I enjoyed the scene. It was really good music, really good cinematography with Dracula himself attacking and showing up with a giant cape. And the guys are like, oh, we're gonna attack you. And they're like, oh shit, we're fucked. And even the rich guy, oh, the rich greedy guy, he got dragged out and he's like, no. And then the other vampires are like, yes, come here. Okay, I tried to do that with the hands like, and he's like, no, not my face, no. Yeah, to be fair, I really enjoy the scene because it shows that Dracula is not a pushover. Anyway, I will give 1000 points for Dracula in this part, and also his sympathetic parts, because he's like, okay, I will accept the mission, I will accept it, and Brayla's like, thank you, my lord, or not Brayla, Camilla, Camilla, Carmilla is like, thank you, my lord, of course, like a snake. She's like a snake. Though I like the character. I like her. She's pretty badass as a villain. She's smart, she's manipulative, but she's good. That's a good female evil villain. And Hector then goes out with her and says like, we have planned the plans, alright, it's nice then. And I'm deciding to maybe not join your plan, or can I back out or something. Like I don't wanna, you know, I don't wanna involve myself so much with this. And she's like, oh, you cannot back out in this, little puppy. And he's like, oh shit. You have played me as a fiddle. You have what is it called again? You have played me. You have tricked me. You have tricked my ass. And I like the reaction of Hector. He's like, oh shit. His reaction is pretty believable. Anyway, spoiler warning. But I like Camilla's argument between the whole place of generals here. Just a second of pause. Anyway, did you like the explanation? She said all of them are fucking children, fucking old men, and some of the women here, some of the vampire women, some of them are very, le quieren matarla. They're gonna kill me. They want to kill me. Some of them are not having even a backbone. Some of them don't even have a backbone. Some of them have ultimate full rage on themselves for not controlling themselves for bloodlust, for fucking bloodlust. Sorry for saying those words, but yeah, basically she's saying for bloodlust, and she's like, now it's my turn to take control out of old men and children and women here. And you are gonna join with me or not, puppy? Are you an animal or are you a child? And he's like, what am I then? He says, Hector says, what am I then? And she's like, you're something in between, a puppy and a child. And he's like, oh, damn it. He's like, ah. He's like, Hector gets very angry at the face, like, ah. He knows that he knows that he has been like, he has been betrayed. He has been tricked. He has been bamboozled. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, yes. Also, I forgot to mention, I like when she says the last part, you're the puppy now. Follow me if you want to live. You know, follow me if you want to live, puppy. If you want to continue living. And he's like, oh, damn it. Damn it, I knew this. You know, I understand Hector. He is impulsive. He's a child. He has a child's mind with a child's innocence, but a man's body. Hopefully, in the next season, which is season 3, I hope, for the love of God, please make it. Please make it. Please make season 3. Please make season 3. I hope he gets a goddamn badass backbone. What do you think? I hope he gets a badass backbone here. Anyway, so we go back to our heroes. After that, we cut to our heroes exploring the library, saying some funny jokes, and yeah, what we did? Oh yeah, Alucard and Saifa were talking with each other. You know, talking about the library and how much knowledge. Sorry, my throat a second. There we go. Talking about how much knowledge it is here, and she basically says against her people, she says they're pretty stupid. Not even 2 generations of speakers could save all of this knowledge inside here. And she's like, yeah, we need to write down shit ASAP. And I love Alucard. I love all the characters. I can say that. I love all the characters. And I love Sypha because she was like, yeah, my people are pretty stupid. She doesn't, you know, I like her because she doesn't, she doesn't ignore it and she doesn't disaccept it. She's like, yeah, they're stupid. They don't save knowledge well. And they're talking about Belmont's treasures or Belmont's knowledge. And Saifa found some form of formula or form of spell under Trevor Belmont's bed or under someone of Trevor Belmont's family lines bed. Some form of um, something down here. I don't want to explain what it is, but you indicate. Yes. That's not me! That's not me! That's my assistant. Blame him if I get monetized. No, the funny thing is, I don't get any money, so it's ironic. It's about penis spells. I say it now, screw it. But it's about penis spells, and Alucard is like, okay, did you really find that from his ancestors, or did you find it in Trevor Belmont, Trevor Belmont's teenage bed? And she's like, she doesn't even say, she doesn't even comply. She's like, mm-hmm. And Alucard is like, oh shit. Alucard is like, why am I stuck here? He's like, why am I stuck in here? She doesn't even say it. So, did she really find it in the bed or not? Though, to be fair, if I think about this, if I think about the progression of Trevor Belmont, he has lived a kind of a happy life in the beginning, but then half of his teenage years, his parents are dead, his house is burnt to, his house is burnt to, his house is burnt to ash. He didn't have a teenage years. He didn't flirt with chicks. I think he has very much a lot of sexual frustration. Something. Seriously, that's why he is very good at combat because he's focusing on combat instead of dating. I think that's the solution as well, you know? Also, the thing that my assistant said, he said it, not me. And then I said it. Then I said it, then I confirmed it myself. But they said it literally in the show, so it's not my fault. But anyway, it was the funniest joke that I heard in the show, so screw it. It was the funniest joke. And then Alucard is blaming, you know, it's basically like this. Alucard and Trevor are basically red and blue blaming each other. And he's like saying, no, he's immature. He's a person that can send you down. Why? He's like, why do you like him so much? And she's like, I like him for some certain reasons. He has feelings. I know I can pick his buttons. I can pick his personality, his buttons. I can annoy him, and he's like, "Why do you like him? Do you know that he is gonna go you to the he's gonna send you to the fördärvet?" Hur säger man det på engelska? He's gonna send you to the down. He's gonna send you down with you. He's gonna drag you down with me. He's gonna drag you down us with us and with you. And he's like, he's incompetent. And in the meantime, when Alucard is trash talking him, sorry, sorry. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I need to say the last part. That when Alucard was trash talking him, sorry, he in the meantime, Trevor Belmont finds a badass silver sword with red rubies, and he's like, "Swords! I understand swords better than reading," because he didn't read much. I think he read some stuff, but not a lot of stuff. And I enjoyed this episode. And later, Sypha discovers the truth of how to defeat the castle and how to stop it. And it's about a spell from an ancient Belmont back in the day that can stop the castle's movement because the castle moves of magic. Yes, I really like the scene when what was it? Alucard was trash talking Belmont, and both sides. Also, both characters are badass. Their clothes are really badass. Anyway, so she basically said, "Sorry, my friend." There we go. She basically says that it's one of Belmont's ancestors, and she says that she has found the spell, and the spell is some connected with Adam and Eve. It has a connection with Adam and Eve. Adamisk. Adamisk. Adamisk spell that can stop the castle from moving and teleporting. And she says that it's the magic of teleportation that the castle uses to move. And both of the other characters are pretty interested and surprised, and Alucard is very interested. And also, Trevor Belmont talks about his family a bit there as well. I think he does. Yes. Yeah, she deciphered. She said, "Take me this book." Yes, the Tower of Babel. Yeah, the Tower of Babel. God. She said that this Adam and Eve language that they had in the show or in the book of this one for the spell to stop the castle. Sorry, for the spell to stop the castle was the first language of Adam and Eve when they were in the garden, at least from the show's perspective. Anyway, from the show's perspective. So what happened was that she basically says the speakers don't believe in God, they keep their secrets to themselves, and she basically, founds the solution to the problem that they have, and then they get attacked by Hector's monsters and get punched in the floor. And the episode ends when the monster attacks them. Secondly, I like the comment. I like the snarky, sarcastic comment or the funny comment of Saifa when she says, "Oh, that's God. God don't like me. God doesn't like me." Though to be fair, Alucard says that's not a God. That's not God. That's a creature. The sounds are not God. So it's kind of interesting. I like the characters of this show. They are very diverse in their perspective. Sci-fi is a person that doesn't believe in God. Alucard is a scientific, smart, educated person. P.S. I forgot to mention, he is basically an adult man with a teenager's mind stuck in his body. Because she's criticizing against Alucard before the end of the episode. She criticized against Alucard by, stop nagging on, I should stop touching. Stop nagging on, what was it? Stop nagging on Trevor Belmont. And he's like, he's talking about his how he grew up. He grew up well, but she's like, you know, Trevor Belmont didn't grow up well. He didn't have a childhood. He didn't get to have a childhood. He got a bit, but not a lot. Not enough, because everything went through. But Alucard says that my mother was a medicine person, my father was a scientist or educated. And she's like, that's why you talk such you do. Because basically, he is an adult man with teenage tendencies. Because he never experienced being a teenager, because he grew up too fast. Also, the vampires in this show, or Alucard himself, vampires, I think vampires do that, I'm not sure. What do you think? Like, vampires, he tells that I grew up fast, real fast. And vampires in the show of Dracula or in Castlevania maybe grow up fast, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a biologist or a scientist, so I don't know. But it was interesting. So she basically makes a little funny comment like, yeah, that's why you are an adult with a teenager's mind. And we see you next time. Bye bye. Ad Wiedersehen. Captain Alfred gives this episode 10 out of 10. Bye bye.